For over a decade, Emma Hayes has been coaching one of the best women's teams in the world, accumulating trophies, including 6 English League titles. She has served as a coach on various continents, worked as a studio analyst on ESPN, and contributed as a columnist for The Telegraph. Now, this last part makes me even more grateful for the fact that US Soccer has chosen Hayes as the top choice to replace Latko Andonovski as the new coach of the US women's national team. So, it's a fact, Hayes has extensive knowledge about football. However, she still doesn't know how this transition from coaching Chelsea to leading the US on the international stage will unfold. The logistics of Hayes' move from Chelsea to the USWNT are complex. She will finish the Chelsea season in England before taking full command of the United States in early next summer. This interim period is not ideal for the US, but it gives Hayes time to take the first steps in her new role. What should she prioritize on her to-do list for the USWNT? Using Hayes' experience and some of Andonovski's mistakes as a guide, let's examine. So, subscribe to the channel and leave your like to not miss any content. 1. Fully analyze the player group. It is evident that for a newly arrived coach to take over a new team, it is crucial to develop a deep familiarity with all the players on the team. Although she is still in London most of the time, she will leverage tools like Uswnt to analyze trends, strengths, and weaknesses of the American players. Hayes already knows some players, such as Crystal Dunn, Mia Fischel, and Katerina Macario, whom she coached at Chelsea. Her quest for details includes understanding Sophia Smith's off-the-ball movement, Naomi Germa's distribution, and Katie Lund's defense in the NWSL. This approach aims to give Hayes an advantage when taking over the team. 2. Start eliminating part of the squad that played in the 2023 World Cup. Andonovski had a considerable performance after the World Cup but eventually resigned after a notable failure in Australia and New Zealand. In doing so, he avoided one of the toughest parts of being a coach, dealing with the challenging task of moving forward. With Hayes making decisions through Kilgore for the upcoming international windows, now is the time to start communicating to players who are not in the plans or will not be part of the next camp. Alyssa Nair, who was the starting goalkeeper for the USWNT in the World Cup, is an example, having allowed more goals than expected last season. Alex Morgan, another World Cup starter, appears less effective in the attack compared to Sophia Smith, who outperforms in goal rate and expected goals per game in the NWSL. The spots and minutes of players like Andy Sullivan, Emily Sonnet, and Christy Mewis could be better used in other positions. Hayes, being a new coach, should not have the same emotional attachment to these players, making it easier to implement changes, even if she is physically distant. 3. Begin integrating young players into the squad. Coach Emma Hayes is directing her attention to the next generation of talent in the United States, recognizing the importance of developing young and creative players to strengthen the team. During the World Cup, Hayes noted the lack of creative talent in the US, and now, a few months later, she has the opportunity to address this issue. Young talents like Jayden Shaw and Olivia Moultrie, both 18 years old, have shown promising skills in the NWSL. Hayes sees the opportunity to integrate these talented players, such as Shaw, who led in direct assists, and Moultrie, with prominence in the percentile of expected assisted goals. This approach aims to enrich the team's creative side and potentially improve its performance in future games. 4. Prepare the tactical approach of the USWNT. Coach Emma Hayes, known for her versatile tactical approach with Chelsea, faces the challenge of adapting her style to coaching the USWNT. With a history of adjusting tactics based on personnel and opponents, Hayes will have more time to prepare specific approaches for international opponents, thanks to the lighter schedule. However, the limited time between major tournaments may hinder the efficient communication of crucial information to the players. Hayes will undertake the task of developing solid strategies for different types of teams that the USWNT encounters, including weaker teams, good teams that don't like possession, good possession-oriented teams, and good teams that fall somewhere in between. Building strategic pillars for the United States based on these encounters would be crucial for the team's tactical success. 5. Spend more time in the attacking third of the field. A persistent challenge faced by the USWNT over the years is dealing with teams that adopt a defensive stance with low defensive lines. Breaking down a low block is a challenging task in football because space is limited, with multiple defenders guarding the goal. Under Andonovski's leadership, the United States particularly struggled in this aspect, showing a lack of creativity and diverse execution to create opportunities against compact defenses. Emma Hayes, in analyzing this challenge, pointed to the lack of creative players during the World Cup but also recognized the strategic and tactical nature involved in overcoming this difficulty. During the last tournament cycle, the USA adopted a slow ball possession and abundant crossing approach, especially in the 2023 World Cup, where they led in crosses compared to other teams. However, success was limited, with only one goal scored after the opening match. Therefore, Tactical work is needed in the final third to address basic flaws, such as improper spacing and slow ball movement. While Hayes may not completely revolutionize the approach, introducing more clarity and variety could represent a significant advancement for the United States. Did we miss anything on this list? Leave your comment here, fan, because your opinion is always important for the evolution of the Uswnt. Thank you for watching up to here. See you in the next video.